We're going to go through a bunch of websites, and I think they're quite funny and also quite useful from time to time as well. So they could contribute your life, and they could be quite funny, and they could give you something. And this is why I'm going through them, and this is why it's, I think, pretty interesting. And so, yeah, let's go through it after the intro, as always. And that could actually be quite amazing, really quite cool and quite useful and quite not nonsensical, I would say as well, but just good and just useful and just, yeah. Anyway, this is what we're going to talk about today. But before I even go through the episode, there's a few things that I'm willing to talk about. The first thing, the podcast, because this actually is a podcast, and the link to the podcast is down in the description. It is either the first link or the second link, but also if you're already on the podcast, which is fine. But if you feel like, well, actually having the YouTube video would be something that's quite amazing, then please check out also the links in the description. They should be there. Please check them out. It is good. Do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Super duper. Then the notes, they're also not that necessary for this episode, I think, but the music, which is a really great way to personalize the experience, so just do it your way, Choose the genre, choose the volume, choose maybe even the speed. I would actually check, or I have to check, whether you can actually also adjust the speed then. But it would also be something that's quite amazing, to just kind of personalize it, to just see and do things to personalize the whole experience for the podcast for you. But yeah, as you can see here on the left side of the screen, there's a few things or a few websites that I would like to talk about. I think there's actually quite a lot that are not that necessary, and I'm actually going to link this website down in the description, so you could also check that out, and also in the show notes. So there's like ambient sound generators, and there's like GeoGuessr, which is like, this game is beyond fascination. It drops you somewhere in the world on Google Street View, and you have to guess where you are. The closer you pinpoint your location on the map, the more points you get. I do actually want to try that out for once. I do want to try this out once. The world famous places, the world, United States, the European Union. I'm gonna take the world. No, not now. Browse free maps. Well, I do not want to have a fucking account there, please. Please let me do that. Try. It looks like you're using an ad blocker. Yeah, I do. Turn off for the site. I do just wanna try it out, and I do hope that my PC is not gonna fuck with me. Where am I? It actually looks like. Could I just see? It kind of looks like East European things, but it could also just be like England and whatnot. But I guess, I guess that it is just, could I also zoom there? I can actually also zoom there. I would say that it is something like Poland. Your guess was, well, it's Finland. But it's actually not that bad, it's, it's not that bad. Not that of a bad thing. This definitely is like South America. Or this is, cool, thank you. This could be South America, but it could also be Africa. It could also be like, Asian countries. But no, it's not South America. It definitely is not South America. But I would argue that it's just somewhere there. Let's guess Nepal. Let's see. Well, I also thought about that. I don't even know what this is, or what it is, unfortunately. This looks like India, according to the signs here on the left side. If I'm just fucking this up now, this wouldn't be a good thing then. China? Where is it? India. Guess. Oh, now I have to wait. So let's fuck you, and let's see. So I'm gonna ditch the whole distraction thing and, well, actually ambient sound thing. But I've also seen like a good movie to watch. And I think since it is actually quite a big struggle for me and for my girlfriend all the fucking time, because we never ever know which film to watch. So, and you could also choose, you can also choose which thing to take. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I just want to have Amazon Prime, please. Let's see if there's some good shit on Amazon Prime. Cold War, Tel Aviv on Fire, Trapped. Then, of course, there's some other shit as well. For Sama, 2019, Arctic, Skin, Beautiful Boy, Climax, The World Before You. It's actually quite a good site. It is, should actually explain it as well. It is showing you movies, and I think just the best movies, curated by humans and not algorithms. Oh yeah, the more we know, and the more I know. Even though I do have to say, I tend to, and this is, I do just also want to get the whole self-development and self-improvement thing into this one as well. So I really don't watch anything with YouTube during the week. When I'm watching a movie, then it's going to be with my girlfriend. When, I'm not watching any series, I'm not watching any other shit. I'm not watching any movies in my own leisure time, kinda, when I'm alone. I'm not going to do that. But, if I'm with her, then it is completely fine. I'm not saying you should completely ditch watching videos or whatever it might be. Just also because you can learn quite a lot from YouTube videos. And this is just truly something that I do have to say and that I do want to say. And you could also learn just a lot from documentaries and also films in general. And they can add some value to your life, of course. But I often feel like, especially when it is about series, that they're just quite of a waste of time. And it still depends on you. If it is just something that you need, then just take it. It is fine. And it really does not come up to just the hour or the 2 hours that you're spending on this shit when you're just really focusing on being fast and efficient and good with all the other shit that you're doing. So that you're actually able to take this time and do it then, It's completely fine, you can do it. I'm not going to be like, well, you shouldn't. Should you really do this? Just please do it. It is about happiness and it's not about just whatever. But happiness is not only short-term thing, but it's also a really, 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 really fucking long-term thing. So also thinking about that is necessary. Because if you thought, for example, just always watch TV, just because you think, well, it is something that's making me happy, then no. When it is leading you to just not being happy because you do not have as much money, because you're not working a lot because of that, and so on and so on. So all the effects that these things, these behaviors are just putting onto your life or turning out into your life, it's fucked up then, and then you should definitely change something about that, even though you love series, even though you like just whatever series, I don't know. But as I've also seen while talking, there is most popular all movies, then genre, mood, spotlight, best films, and so on and so on. The World Before Your Feet, 2018, Midsommar. I do wonder the report. I know this guy. You might also know this guy. The Last Black Man in Sun Something. I do wonder if it is only not series, but if it is only movies. What is genre? Action comedy. Let's say action comedy, because this is something that really pisses me off, that there is not a lot of comedy things on Amazon Prime. Mid-90s, Pride, The Disaster Artist, Lady Bird. Lady Bird is quite a cool movie, even though it is kind of sad. I've actually watched it in the cinema with school, which was quite of an interesting thing. But anyway, let's see and let's have a look at other things. Hacker type. Well, yeah, hacker typer. I'm sorry, you can imagine what it is. Then there's the YouTube time machine, being able to go back. The wiki game, which is something that's quite interesting, I have to say. Get from one Wikipedia page to another in the quickest time period or the least clicks. You'll need to use your judgment here to decide which link will take you closest to the destination, while also getting a tour around some of the more fascinating and unique pages of Wikipedia. it would actually be kind of a great way to find new things to talk about, I would say, because especially when we're talking about effects and psychology and whatnot, like there's so many different things that I don't know any fucking thing about. I don't even know that they're existing, which is a huge point, you know. I'm not gonna play the game now, though. Level up life. On this side, you put in real life goals and you're working to achieve and get points on your account based on their successful completion of them. Some people swear by it as a way to motivate themselves to do even smallest tasks, and as added bonus, it is all in the graphics of an old school game. Well, yeah, I know it sounds pretty great, and I know that there are some apps outside there as well that are kind of the exact same thing. I do wonder if you just have to log in or register or whatnot. Then the next one is Music Map. Even though I tend to not listen to any music while I'm on a go, I'm not doing this. When I'm at home and when I'm working, then I am gonna listen to music, and I'm actually listening to quite a lot of music, but I'm also listening to just YouTube videos while I'm working and other shit. But when I'm on a go, I'm listening to nothing. Nada, niente. Nothing. Like really nothing. It is just something that I don't do. I've stopped doing this actually 2 years ago or some shit. And I can live with it. You know, when I'm listening to something, then it is going to be a podcast, but most often I'm actually listening to nothing because, yeah, you know, because of just, I don't know, I don't feel like it actually. But this is a pretty good one. Type in any musician's name on the homepage and it will give you a map of other artists you might like. The closer the name, the more likely, the more alike the artist is. Give it a go and see if you can discover new music. It is like having that mate who knows everything about bands in a searchable database on the internet. And I do also want to check that out later on. Then there is the Sambeo matrix. This is a simple, bizarre, and oddly addictive. Just make a couple of patterns by clicking the score in the matrix and rhythm comes to life. It's equal parts addictive and infuriating. I'm also going to check out this one. I've ditched the whole drinking game thing, by the way. Then this is actually a cool one. Yeah. This is a pretty cool one. 2 foods. Can't decide what to have for lunch? Put your 2 options in here and it will directly compare their health attributes on different levels. Perfect for when you just can't choose what to eat. And I do have to say, it is a fucking great idea. It really is a good idea, and I do wonder how good it is working, so I'm actually gonna try it out. If it is loading. If it is not loading, I'm not gonna try it out, unfortunately, actually. Please load, motherfucker. Well, let's actually go through the last one, while it is loading, which is the Scribble Maps. Put your own text, images, and scribbles over maps. Perfect for when you're planning a trip if you need to put in some notes and share them with people you're traveling with. You can also be used to gag it up and draw anything you like on your hometown, but that's much less useful. Yeah, it indeed is. It indeed really fucking is. I do wonder, by the way, the other game that I've been playing, did I close it? Or what did I do with it? Music Map? Oh, the Sambeo something Open Resty, which is 404 not found. It's fine. So I do want to just do the fucking 2 foods thing. Maybe I have to search for it. 2 foods. Comparison. By the way, it's like, sometimes I feel like it is a fucking art form to... 2 foods is a site that offers comparison between any 2 different foods by providing nutrition data. Compare foods, compare metrics. It might actually be the case that it is gone or something. It could actually be the case 2 foods. This site can't be reached. Well, then anyway, maybe I'm gonna find it 2 foods, developers, CB rank company, 2foods.com. Maybe it's just because I'm in the European Union that it is not working, but I could also just be just having a look at something else. Foodmetrics.com. They seem to be search for foods to compare. Yeah, they're doing the exact same thing basically, which is cool. We're gonna have a look at this a little bit later on. The music map. Type the name of an artist. Which artist do I like? I actually like Post Malone. Like I really do like his music. Even though I tend to not listen to any music, by the way, that's fucking negative. I really try to not do that. Juice WRLD is actually quite close to him. Broccoli is something that I really love. Ryan Caravillo or whatever, I also really like him, which is quite of an interesting thing to see this. The other ones I don't know. Drake and whatnot, yeah, it is fine. The closer the name, blah 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 blah. Is there actually any way I could just type in more? Tupac. Tupac is also cool. Maybe Tupac Shakur. Let's see. Even though Jay-Z, Nas, Dr. Dre, Will Smith, I do wonder when I'm just Milli Vanilli, Coolio, Skillo, Wilson Phillips, Vanilla Ice, Shaggy, Mac Hammer, or MC Hammer. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And here is... Oh, I didn't even show you. I'm sorry. So there it is. It's not that of an interesting thing though, so it's fine. Community achievement. Call a friend or relative just to chat for a bit. Spend the day with friends or family. We were together with my friend. So you do have to log in, yes, or sign in or register. But I think it's actually a pretty good idea. But there's also apps that are doing the exact same thing, so you could also be doing that. But let's actually compare some foods, you know? Apple versus orange. I actually wanted to search something quite similar to that. Wow. Okay. Apple's raw with skin includes foods for USDA's food distribution program or something. Oranges raw all commercial varieties. Table view food comparison by calories and nutrition content per 100 gram. I hope it is actually working since it is loading and shit. But yeah, energy. The apple has slightly more calories. 0.2 grams of fat, which is something that I didn't know. More carbohydrates, therefore also more sugar, which is something that I didn't actually know that kind of well or something. But yeah, it is what it is. Water. The orange is having more water. Then minerals. Minerals is In terms of minerals, besides sodium actually, which is not good anyway, there's also a lot of calcium in oranges. Didn't know that, 40 milligrams. Another reason why you just don't, or is it about magnesium? No, it's about calcium. But vitamins, this is going to be an interesting thing. It is going to be an interesting one. Vitamin A, okay, the orange is better. Vitamin B, the orange is better. Vitamin C, the orange is better by just 100%. If I do want to point out, you have to eat 100 grams of orange, and you're having 71% of your fucking vitamin C. This is insane. Like it's not gonna be like you need supplements for fucking vitamins. If you just eat a healthy diet, you're getting everything. Vitamin K, okay, there is the apple a tiny bit better, or actually at least 2.2 and 0. Quite something. And folate, there's again going to be the orange better. Let's see if there's something else. Beans versus lentils. White bread versus whole wheat bread. I do want to have a look at this one. Even though I'm also not a really good fan or really big fan of whole wheat bread. Since I do like... what is it called? I always forget about it, what it is called. I know barley is just another grain. I like barley. Barley is amazing. Barley is super duper. But it's not what I think about. It is like the really dark bread. Well, anyway. Calories. The whole wheat bread is actually a little bit lower in calories indeed. Total fat is also lower. Protein is higher. The carbohydrates is also lower. Sugar is lower. Dietary fiber is higher, which is good. Water is also higher. Fat is the same, and there it's the same. The minerals. Sodium is lower, which is good. Potassium is way higher. Well, actually it's 100 points or 100 milligram more on 100 gram. Calcium is more. Iron is actually less. Magnesium is more. Phosphorus is more. Zinc is more. The vitamins, vitamin E is more. Vitamin K is more. Like this should also or kind of be the only reason why I'm not eating that. I mean, there's nothing in there. It's only calories, and then that's quite it. Like there is some minerals. I know they are there. I'm seeing them. But I mean, compared to the other bread, it is like just quite nothing, you know? The only thing that's quite high is folate, but I'm even not quite sure if this is something that's good, so I don't know. Maybe something else that they can point out. I do want to just actually... Barley halt, barley raw. Well, let's just take the 0 grains in pasta, raw, halt. I don't know what halt means, but let's take it. And rice. Snacks, rice cakes, no. White rice. Roll gluten-free, white made with rice flour. What the fuck? I do just wanna... White rice, glutinous, unenriched, uncooked. What is halt? I don't know what halt means. The wooden hull of the ship, framework, body, shell, seed. Yeah, anyway. So let's compare that. Let's compare that. The barley is the first one. The barley is the first one, and so the left one is the barley, the right one is the rice. Barley has a tiny bit less calories. The total fat is more in barley. The protein is also 2 times as much. The carbohydrates is a little bit less. Sugar is more actually, which is 0.8 compared to 0 with the rice. The dietary fiber is way more. It is like 8 times more, kind of. Not really, kind of. And water is less. The lipids, yeah, anyway. Minerals, here we're seeing quite some differences. So the barley is having 12 milligrams of sodium, which is a tiny bit more of the rice with 7 milligram. Potassium is in barley 452 milligram, which is actually only 13% of what you need per day compared to 77 milligram, which means that if it's 14, I can't calculate that, so nevertheless. Anyways, the calcium is 33 milligrams compared to 11 milligrams. Magnesium 133 milligrams. Phosphorus 264, and so on. Vitamins are actually not that of a huge thing with both of them. The only thing that I'm seeing there is like the vitamin K, which is relatively high in barley. So yeah, let's actually just pick something kind of random here once again. The Big Mac versus the Whopper. I do hope that I'm not gonna get fucked for saying that, because of fucking copyright fucking issues. But yeah, it's actually, I don't know how many or how big a Big Mac is or how many grams it is. Calories? Oh, grams. Calories? Wait. Oh no, I do just want to have to calculate. This doesn't make any fucking sense if I'm clicking on fucking... Oh, now I see it. Well, anyway. No, it doesn't. It does not make any sense. No. Anyway, the energy is 257 calories per 100 grams. So the problem now is, of course, that I do not really know how many grams it is, the Big Mac. So it could be a lot, could also not be a lot. I don't really know right now. The total fat is 15 gram, which is 23% of the whole thing. Quite something. Then we have in protein, which is actually 24%, so also something. Water, 51.3 grams. Saturated fat, which is 3.8 gram, and monosaturated fat, which is 3.5. Cholesterol, 3.6. By the way, I do just have to talk about the Whopper as well. The Whopper is a little bit higher in fat and a little bit lower in protein, a little bit lower in carbohydrates as well, but higher in sugar, as it turns out, and lower in fiber. It's having more saturated fats. Yes. Sodium, what the fucking hell? 100 grams of Big Mac is 460 milligrams, which is 19%. I think, is it 19% of the whole thing, or is it, well, if 15, I think it's, I do wonder what this is, because I've always been referring to percentage values are daily recommended values based on a 2,000 calorie diet. I do, by the way, think that my diet is more than 2,000 calories. From time to time, at least. Not always, but from time to time, I'm definitely going to be more than 2,000. Minerals. Sodium is like 19% of what you need in 100 grams. Potassium, 5%. Like, there's a lot of minerals. Also a lot of calcium, actually. Iron, 2 milligrams. They're kind of identical there. In the, same reach there. Same way here. Folate, the Whopper is... I, by the way, wonder if folate is good. Is folate good? Folate, good. Good for your body. Folate is one of the B vitamins and is needed to make red and white blood cells in the bone marrow. Convert carbohydrates into energy and produces DNA and RNA. Adequate folate intake is extremely important during periods of rapid growth, such as pregnancy, infancy, and adolescence. So it kind of is necessary to have, I assume. But let's actually see if there's... I do have to come up with something good, something that actually people kind of... Maybe beef, chicken, and pork. But what about... beef is... never mind. What I can see directly here is that beef is having the most calories, then we're having the pork, and then the last one is chicken. Also because, of course, beef has the most fat, which is, by the way, something that I didn't really expect, because, pork is also pretty fatty. So, yeah. Protein, there, actually the pork is the highest one. With 50, whoa. 100 grams is 27.3 grams of protein concerning the pork, which is 55% of your daily income. Which is quite something, Which is quite something, but compared to the calories, the best one there obviously is the chicken. Broilers or fried, fresh, loin, whole, lean, ground beef. Well, saturated fats, they have something. Minerals seem to, concerning minerals, it just does make sense to eat meat, even though, the carnivore diet is around. Then a lot of people are talking about just not eating any meat, and it is quite of an interesting thing, and it is quite of just a thing to figure out for yourself and on your own, to just see what is doing any good to you, what is bad for you, and so on, because sodium, the highest one is the beef, and the lowest one is the pork, actually. Potassium, the highest one is the pork. Calcium, the highest one is also the pork. Iron, beef. The chicken is always somehow in the middle of everything. Magnesium, also the pork. Phosphorus, also the pork. Vitamins. Vitamin A, actually the chicken. With a fucking huge distance to the pork and the beef. But also vitamin D is the pork. What the fucking hell? I think it's micrograms, but the pork is having 1060% of what you need, which is 53 microgram per 100 milligram of vitamin D. Isn't vitamin D the one that you're just receiving from the sun or something? Or is it also not the one that a lot of vegetarians and vegans are just lacking of, just because they're not eating any meat and whatnot? But yeah, pretty interesting. Sources include USDA. Interesting. And it's also a pretty nice website. I know everything is clear and you can just use it and everything is fine. But yeah, I think that this is going to be the end of the episode. So I wish you the best health, of happiness, and all success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself, and you're going to be remembered. Basically means you like everything, just being a nice person and being remembered as a nice person. 3 other questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? Thanks a lot, and I hopefully see you the next time.